Okay, let's dive into this silent but really escalating war between two of the Middle East's biggest rivals, Iran and Israel. But here's the thing. This probably isn't the war you think you know.
You see, for years, their whole battle was fought in the shadows, right? We're talking proxy forces, cyber attacks, that kind of thing. But now, the battlefield is shifting in a huge way. It's moving from these far-off borders, deep inside enemy lines.
Yeah, a completely new front has opened up. And it's not on some foreign battlefield, it's inside Israel itself.
So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how Iran is allegedly pivoting its whole strategy. And we're going to look at some pretty stunning data that reveals this new front line.
And really, it all kicks off with just one single, pretty shocking number. 400%. That's the increase in arrests for Iranian spy plots inside Israel in 2024. This is according to Israel's Shin intelligence agency. I mean, think about that. A 400% jump. In just a single year, it's wild.
And behind that big number, a record number of incidents. Just in 2024, Shin Bet exposed 13 really serious espionage affairs. This led to 27 Israeli citizens being indicted. And the plots, well, they were all over the place. Everything from trying to smuggle weapons to launching sophisticated cyber attacks on critical targets.
You know, to really get the gravity of this shift, listen to this quote from Asher Ben-Artzi, a former head of Israel's Interpol. He said, "In the past, to find Israelis who would be willing to betray the country for the sake of money was very rare. But unfortunately, today, this is not the case. It's like what was once unthinkable is now this alarming new reality."
And this whole trend is just perfectly captured in one of the most brazen espionage cases in Israel's recent history. It's a crazy story.
So let's talk about Raz Cohen. He's a 26-year-old IDF reservist, and he's serving as a technician inside one of Israel's most vital, most secret military assets, the Iron Dome. I mean, his job literally put him at the very heart of the country's missile shield.
So this just begs the question, right? How could a soldier, someone on the inside of this multi-billion-dollar defense system, actually be turned? And for how much? What's the price tag on that kind of betrayal?
Well, the answer is, it's almost unbelievable. According to the indictment, Cohen allegedly got paid somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500. And get this, it was paid in crypto, all for leaking the secrets of a multi-billion-dollar defense network. Just incredible.
So what exactly did he allegedly hand over for that kind of money? We're talking photos of firing procedures, GPS coordinates of military bases, the exact locations of active Iron Dome batteries. He even gave up the names of his commanders. Look, this wasn't just random data. It was basically a roadmap to dismantling one of Israel's biggest defense assets.
Okay, so this brings up a huge question. How on earth are Iranian agents finding and recruiting ordinary Israelis like Raz Cohen to begin with?
Well, according to investigators, the answer isn't some super sophisticated spy movie stuff. Nope. It's a wide digital dragnet that just relies on social media and psychology. They even have a name for it: Operation Money.
It's basically a 4-step playbook for entrapment. Step 1 is contact. An agent just reaches out on an app, maybe Telegram, with some vague offer of work. Step 2, the test. They pay the recruit for a simple, totally harmless-seeming task. Then, step 3, escalate. The requests slowly get more and more serious until they're asking for sensitive info. And that leads to the final step, the trap. Once the person is compromised, they're blackmailed with threats of being exposed.
And that psychological trap is absolutely key here. According to reports, when Raz Cohen tried to stop, his Iranian handlers used this really chilling threat. They said they would turn him in to the Shin, the very agency that's supposed to catch spies like him. So they basically weaponized the hunter to keep their mole right where they wanted him. Lior Ackerman, a former Shin Bet brigadier general, he really puts it plainly. He just calls it a numbers game. He says they reach out to many thousands, from whom they find a few who are willing to carry out operations for money. It's all about casting a massive net to find those few people who are just vulnerable enough, or maybe desperate enough, to say yes.
So you gotta ask, why this big strategic pivot, and why now? Well, the answer might not be in Iran's strengths, but actually in its recent setbacks all across the region. If you look at the last few years, Iran's axis of resistance, its whole network of allies and proxies, has taken some serious hits. Back in 2020, the strike that killed Qasem Soleimani basically cut the head off its foreign strategy. More recently, Key proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah had been seriously weakened. And then the Assad regime in Syria, which was his key ally and a land bridge to Lebanon, completely collapsed.
So when you put all of that together, it points to a really clear pivot. As Iran's ability to project its power outward starts to crumble, it looks like it's doubling down on trying to destabilize its rival from the inside. Basically, it's shifting its focus from regional proxies to internal moles.
And that leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought. As these traditional battlefields keep shifting and old alliances crumble, could it be that the future of this conflict, and maybe a lot of others, isn't going to be fought on a battlefield at all? Maybe the new front line is inside the minds and the private messages of ordinary citizens just like you and me.